One of the universities that I teach at had graduation earlier this week, and it made me think to do a special episode for those of you who are graduating. But this video will be good for anyone at any age. Here are 7 things that I wish that I knew when I was graduating so long ago. Let's not waste any time. So number 1 is going to be, if you want to be happy, follow your dreams. But if you want to be rich, follow your skill set. This one's definitely controversial, and it's one that I have a conversation with my students about all the time. You know how they say if you do what you love, you will never work a day in your life? That's pretty true. If you absolutely love going into work each day, and it's something that you would do even if you didn't get paid, then you pretty much are living the dream, and that's awesome. Unless the goal is to make a bunch of money and make it so that you don't have to work at all, or that you get to go do things that you like even more than possibly what it is that you're doing for work. If your real goal is to be rich or to have passive income at some point, you need to make earned income first, which means you need to use the skill set that you probably just learned in these last 4 years at college, or that you've been accumulating in other ways. And you need to go put those in action and just crush it for 5 or 10 years and be very smart with your money, and that's going to be the secret. It's not the funnest answer in the world, but it is the thing that's going to probably make you the most amount of money. So again, if that's your goal, use that skill set. This next one's important for anyone of any age, but specifically for you people that just graduated college and you're now about to go make some real money, and that is to spend less than you make. I know it sounds simple, I know it sounds like,
well, duh, I would never do that.
But there's a reason why our credit card debt as a country has doubled in the last year or two. People are obviously not doing this rule. The only way that you'll actually do this is to get real with yourself and actually build out a budget. And a budget doesn't have to be complicated, it can be super simple. The basics of a budget is just to know real numbers, because if you don't know those numbers, then how the heck can you stay within those numbers? How much money do you make from your job or from all income altogether? How much are absolute needs bills? Things like rent or insurance. Now what's left over? Now, what are some wants? Write up a sustainable way to have your wants but not overdo it. And it can be that simple. The next one, and number 3, is to understand compound interest. Unfortunately, you can't just save your way to millions of dollars. Most of us don't make enough money to just be able to take a piece of our paycheck and put it in a savings account, and that alone is how we're gonna get rich. It's also not the smartest thing in the world to put your money into a bank account when inflation is eating up at it. You could put $10,000 into the S&P 500 and let it sit, and with its average annual appreciation of 10% each year, in 30 years, that $10,000 will have turned into $174,494. Just imagine what would happen if you added an extra $100 just at each and every paycheck. The next one, and number 4, is huge. And this one is, don't pay for luxury with your paycheck. Buy assets that then can pay for your luxuries. This would be things like buying a rental property or starting a business or having a way for you to bring in extra cash flow. The best thing that you could do at this age is to get into real estate in some way. And the best way to do that would be to house hack, where you're actually living in the house and you get 3 or 4 friends and you rent out rooms to them, and now they're paying your mortgage. You probably have no living expenses as far as the mortgage is concerned because they probably pay for that, and they're putting equity into your home. Then later on, 10 years down the road, you'll have so much equity in that home that you could either use that and cash out, refinance, and buy another house, or buy another couple properties, or you could use that to buy something else that's going to be cash flowing. And at that point, all of that extra residual cash that you're making that's totally passive income, you can use that to then buy a new car or pay for some bills or something. All the while, you're still making a paycheck and making money in other ways over here. So later on, when you're using that passive income to buy all these cool things, you're not going into extra debt, and that's the way that the rich get richer. So sacrifice a little bit for these next 5 to 10 years, and I promise the rest of your time, you're gonna be very happy that you did. This next one is one of my favorites and one that I tell my students all the time, and this is to take risks, but not blindly. A risk is just basically something where you don't understand or don't know what the outcome is gonna be. With each perceived risk, the best way that you're gonna come out on top is to just start stacking some of the odds in your favor. At the beginning, you don't know anything. You don't know what might happen. But if you can get a little more information, or you can have like an advisory team that can be on your side to help you out with these types of things. The more you can start making some of the unknowns known, it's gonna help you out so much. This could definitely look like going out for a job that you're not qualified for, but it's a much higher paying job and you'd have more fun doing this. But you shouldn't just submit your resume and then sit there and hope. You need to go find a mentor or someone who's much further along, and they can give you advice on what they would do in this situation. You should also definitely tap into your network, especially those of you that did just graduate college. There's a bunch of future professionals all in your class. Make sure that you get that contact information and that you use each other to help each other along. The risk you should absolutely not take is just investing in some stock or meme coin because it seems like the price only goes up or because Twitter is popping off about it. That's a dumb risk, and that'll usually just end in a loss of a lot of money. The next one's gonna sound super familiar for those of you that have been with this channel for a while, and the whole reason why I call it Investing Simplified. And this one is to not overcomplicate it. Whether it's finances, job aspirations, relationships, or anything in between, keep it simple and keep it consistent. Small habits done every single day or every single week are gonna be much bigger than any big infusion one time. In investing, $100 invested per week for 40 years could be over $2 million. In business, learning one new skill every single week will most likely end up in you having a new job or at least higher responsibilities with much better pay within 6 months to a year. Companies are always looking for those high performers within the company. They hire you kind of as a test to see what type of employee you're going to be, and if they can see that you're a continuing learner and that you're somebody who's constantly updating their skills, that's somebody they're willing to pay to keep around for a long time. The possibilities are endless, but just take it one step at a time and don't worry too much about the end result or how far you have to go. I used to be a CrossFit athlete at the highest levels, at the professional levels, and the secret to crushing these workouts was to make sure that you didn't get overwhelmed. The workout could have been something like 10 rounds of 100 of this and 100 of that or something like that. And my secret was always to just take it as one round. That's all I was thinking about. I was thinking about the round that I was on and the pace that I had to keep within that one round. If I had to think about what I needed to do for all 10 and where I was compared to what I need to do, that would have been too much and I probably would have burnt out. But because all I was focusing on was maybe 10, 20 seconds at a time, that was very manageable and it helped me keep a pace that was sustainable the whole way through. Same thing with finances and investing. Make sure you can budget and find an extra $50, $100, $200 per month and get that invested as soon as you can. Which leads us to the next tip, which is to get started in investing early and often, but always remain a learner. Don't just invest in something and say, okay, cool, that's gonna be the thing that I just invest in forever. Especially if you pick an individual company stock or something. Certain ETFs you literally could just set and forget, and those are the ones that I do recommend just because it is the most simple way to invest. But nonetheless, be open to hear new ideas and new thoughts, but make sure to do your own research and understand 100% anything that you're gonna put your money into. You've already made the right choice by watching this video and by subscribing to this channel. Now what you need to do is watch this playlist that I've queued up specifically for you to teach you what's next in investing and everything you need to know about how to invest successfully. And just know that I'm always here to answer your questions and help out wherever I can.